Greetings everyone. Hope all of you are having an absolutely fantastic day. We're back again with more Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. This time, I figured there are some of you who are very interested in doing a Lich playthrough, but are a little bit concerned about how to make sure you get all of the Undead party members. When the game first released, they were a little bit bugged, and there were definitely some people who got through the whole game without being able to have a fully undead party. Those bugs seem to have been cleared up, and so now it should be much simpler to ensure that when you finish the game, everyone who is on your side is undead. And I'm going to walk you through how to do exactly that. So first and foremost, in order to get undead party members, you must be a Lich. There is no other mythic path in the game that will allow you to have these particular creatures. So I will include in the description a link to ensure that you know how to unlock Lich at the end of Act 2. There are some steps you have to follow. It is possible that you'll get to this point at the end of Act 2 and not have Lich as an option for your mythic path. The next step comes at the beginning of Act 3. You will automatically, no matter what mythic path you choose, have a conversation with Areelu. As a Lich, Areelu will mention that they still have the body of the main boss that you face at the end of Act 2, and she asks what should be done with it. You have a Lich option that says to leave it in the cellar. You must choose that option in order for the body to be available for you to resurrect the soul later in the game. Next step, towards the beginning of Act 3, your Lich mentor, Sarkoris, is going to ask you to build a ziggurat. I believe it takes about 15, maybe 16 days in order for this process to be completed, but you cannot get any of the undead party members, or grave guards as they're referred to in the game, without first building this ziggurat. Once you have created the ziggurat and have talked to your Lich mentor within the structure, you're then going to get another decree that's going to ask you to create the Pillar of Skulls. This also must be completed before you can start recruiting undead party members. If you have set the Crusade to auto, I believe that instead of having decrees that you manually do, the game will basically give a time parameter for how long it's going to take for these things to be completed. And after a certain amount of days have passed, it'll just automatically be done, and you'll still be able to continue forward with the mythic path. Once you have finished that decree, you will see this Pillar of Skulls in the middle of your ziggurat. Talk to it, and it'll tell you about grave guards, and it should be able to immediately identify 2 grave guards that are available to you: the boss that you faced at the end of Act 2, and another grave guard that's available in a nearby church. The corpse of the boss that you faced is all the way in the back of the prison, and you should be able to access it and resurrect it once the Pillar of Skulls has identified this creature as one who could be a grave guard for you. The second grave guard is to the left of Dresden in a place called the Temple of the Good Hunt. In the back of the Temple of the Good Hunt, in front of this statue, there'll be a perception check, and if you clear it, a switch will come up, allowing you to use trickery to unlock it and reveal a basement level of the church. There'll be a priest here that you can either diplomatically convince to let you down there, or you might end up having to kill him. Once you are able to reach the basement of the church, there will be a tomb here that you can interact with, and as a Lich, it will allow you to raise the grave guard that is within. Mind you, you are actually able to raise the grave guard before you unlock the Pillar of Skulls. However, the grave guard will not actually join your party until you have created the ziggurat and unlocked the Pillar of Skulls to identify them as someone that can actually help you. Recruiting the next grave guard is a little bit tricky. First and foremost, this must be done during Act 3. It's possible that this person will be flat out dead and you will not be able to resurrect them in Act 5, but even if the individual is alive, my understanding that it's either bugged or not intended for you to be able to raise them as a grave guard. So you definitely want to do this in Act 3. In order to get this option, you have to complete the quest in Winter Sun, where a character named Morveg asks you to help him retrieve a sword that is being blocked by a demon. No matter what you do, that quest is going to complete in a way that will seriously upset one of the people within Dresden. And later in Act 3, the Pillar of Skulls will decide that a revolt is about to happen, led by this particular individual. What triggers the Pillar of Skulls to give you this dialogue is not clear. It definitely doesn't trigger right after you finish Winter Sun, unless they've put in a patch that has corrected that. So I would venture to say you should check with the Pillar of Skulls at least by after you finish the Ivory Sanctum. Definitely by then you should go ahead and get this notification that this person is going to attack you. Once you have done that, just follow the Pillar of Skulls instructions and you will be able to deal with their revolt and in the end, raise this individual to be yet another one of your grave guards. Your next grave guard comes at the end of Act 4. No matter what mythic path you are, you have to come to the Calafir Mines, and no matter what mythic path you've chosen, you're going to have to face Kestigalir. But Lich is the only one that's able to raise him again to be one of your allies. Now, even though you raise him here and speak to him, he doesn't join your party yet. You actually have to finish all of Act 4, and then once you begin Act 5, he'll be there waiting for you, and you'll have the option of adding him to your team. You can recruit the last grave guard in Act 5 in a city called Iz. There are two options for where in the city she's going to be located. Earlier in the game, you have the option of giving her your half of the Lexicon of Paradox. If you did so, she's going to be located here in the Temple of Stone Manuscripts. In fact, you'll meet her right outside of this area. If you did not give her the Lexicon, then she's going to be located down here, charging against an enemy. Either way, if you intend to raise her, you want to make sure you go ahead and do it here. Go ahead and kill her and then raise her back up as one of your grave guards. If you let her get back to Dresden, my understanding is that you will not be allowed to raise her as a grave guard, even if you do end up killing her. So it's best to go ahead and handle it here. Also, if you want to get the Lexicon of Paradox back, you need to make sure that you loot her body before you raise her as a grave guard. Raising her does not automatically add the paradox to your inventory, so it'll basically be gone forever if you raise her without looting her first. And that's it. Once you have completed this, you will then have a full undead party. Hope this was clear. If there are any questions, absolutely leave me a comment down below. I'm happy to provide whatever clarification I can. I try to make this as spoiler free as possible because I know there's some of you who might be playing the Lich for the first time and would like to find out for yourself what guards are and are not available. But that's the video. Hope all of you enjoyed this. If you did, please leave me a like down below, share this content, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I will see you all in the next video. Take care.